Welcome to our podcast. It's called The Pitcher's Mound. My name is Nick, and we are a company called Pitch 59 that is putting this on this podcast to be able to introduce ourselves and to talk about why we built this company, why this company is in existence, and really what we're trying to focus on, both to interview people that are using our software, but also to educate our consumers on how to, best use the tools and resources that we give them. So, we're here just to talk today about elevator pitches, actually. But just to start, let's just quickly introduce ourselves. So, yeah, Jeff, if you wanna go ahead and just kind of tell us who you are, a little bit about your background and such.
Yeah, so I'm Jeff Bitton. I am the CEO of Pitch 59, and my background is sales and small business. So I did door-to-door sales for 5 years, and I always knew that if I could talk to somebody in person, it's a lot more effective. There's so much metaverbal and nonverbal communication that we understand, that we read, that we use to determine whether or not we know, like, and trust somebody.
Yeah.
And anyway, did that for 5 years, and then owned my own cleaning and restoration companies for 13 years. And it was always frustrating spending a lot of money on all the major marketing platforms out there that have a lot of deceptive lead practices that are very biased towards the companies that pay the most. It's a pay to play. And I was thinking about the consumers, how we as consumers, I don't care who spends the most money on Google or Yelp.
Sure.
I want to hire the company that fits my needs best.
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
Oftentimes some of the best companies are the ones on the second, third, or fourth pages. And I'm like, this isn't a good fit. But
nobody
for consumers.
nobody ever goes to those pages.
No.
It's really difficult to be seen.
If you're past like the 7th or 8th spot, you're toast.
Yeah. What is the 7th or 8th page? Is that even a thing? Just kidding.
So anyway, when we were having a rough time with one of our companies in Houston because of some changes that had happened in the restoration industry, and we were searching for a method that was a lot more effective than what we were currently spending money on. And I realized that if I could go back to those door-to-door days, I didn't have the time to do door-to-door, but if I could, it was very effective. Because if I could talk to somebody that was even remotely interested in what I was doing, I was very confident that I was going to walk away with a sale. Not because I'm a pushy person,
sure,
but because I can quickly get to their level, understand what they need, and just kind of explain who we are.
Yeah, it's way more personal, right? They need to see your personality come to life, and they need to be able to see that those attributes that they wouldn't be able to get from just a name or even a picture sometimes.
Yeah.
They need to see that more human side of you and know that you're a person, not just like a company or a brand. Some of
the best sales reps that I've ever seen are people that you wouldn't think are salesy.
Right.
Like, they don't come across as pushy or arrogant or too confident.
Yeah.
They're just like really down to earth, and they're just really good at getting to know people. Yeah. And the best people, the best sales reps, the ones that I hire the most are the ones that are just like normal, down to earth people.
Yeah.
That are comfortable talking about their product, but they don't push it on you.
Right. Yeah. They're more humans. And if they lead into the sale, but it's way more natural. It's not like, it doesn't feel like the only focus that they have is just
to sell their product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, is that they feel like they just need to push towards the product, or if they just get straight to the point. But a lot of times people just, they look for that connection. They look for that ability to be relatable with other people. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, is they don't really see that as a necessity when they're connecting with somebody.
So back in December, or at the end of 2014, I was looking to buy a new car. And I had test driven like a Honda Accord and a Toyota Camry and stuff, and I was wanting to get just a midsize sedan like that.
Yeah.
And on my way I was living in Idaho at the time, and on my way out of Idaho Falls, I saw that Subaru had a new Legacy in the front of their lot there.
Not an official plug for Subaru, by the way.
No, but I like Subarus.
But
so sure.
Yeah. But
anyway, so I went in there and test drove it, and the dealer there was like the coolest guy I'd ever met. He couldn't care less if I bought the car. Mm-hmm. He loved cars, and he loved to just talk, and he was super friendly. And he's like, "Do you want to just take it for the night and see how you like it?" I'm like, "Really?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Sure." Anyway, so I took it home and took my wife on a test drive and everything.
He let you take the car?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then came back, brought it back the next day, and he's like, "Yeah, if you're interested in getting one of these are kind of the numbers on it." And I went home and did my research and found out that I could get it for a little bit cheaper in Utah or in other places.
Oh yeah, okay.
And anyway, and I called those other places, and they were all just very salesy. And I'm like, you know what? I would rather spend a little bit more money and work with that guy than work with any of the others that I didn't like that were cheaper. And so I ended up buying the car through that guy. And he sent me like a lot of sales reps like send birthday cards or whatever the next year or whatever. But I was so impressed with the way that he was that I wanted to do business with him, even if it wasn't the exact price that I was hoping for. Well,
I think that's kind of like what the world is turning to a little bit, is they're looking more for the quality of a product or a service than what they might spend for it. Like there could be some minute details between working with this person versus this person, there's this person, but really they're looking for the people that they have the best relationship with, that treated them well, that really felt like the service of what they were providing was more important than just trying to, make some money for themselves, or it was very selfless in what they were trying to do.
Right.
And I think, like you see people like leaning more towards that kind of sales process of looking more for the quality service that somebody can provide, instead of just saying, oh, I just want to save a couple bucks, so I'm going to go this way instead.
Yeah. It's about relationships. And when we created Pitch 59 in the first place, I wanted a way for me to digitally be able to be myself and be human and allow my customers and everybody else to refer me out to other people without them having to do all the work of the referral.
Yeah.
And so we created these pitch cards, and ever since the beginning, it's always been called Pitch 59 since day one, because we knew that it needed these elevator pitches that you do on Pitch 59. They need to be short, sweet, and to the point, because I have ADD. I think it seems like most people have ADD or ADHD of some sort nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sit there and listen to your pitch for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm willing to listen to your elevator pitch, but I want you to kind of get to the meat of the topic that I'm wanting to learn about quickly. But also in that 1 minute that you have in the 59 seconds, excuse me, I need to get to know you. Yeah. I need to see your personality. I need to see the way that you're going to deal with me. And so much of that is not verbal,
right?
Or it's at least not words. Yeah. It's going to be the metaverbal, like the intonation, the way that
body language,
the inflection in our voices,
right?
And then the nonverbal, which is the body language and the way that we talk and everything. Because like I remember hiring for my cleaning companies, and we would have all these resumes, and then we'd call up a handful of them, just kind of a crapshoot. They would come in, and within the first 10, 20, 30 seconds, I already knew whether or not they were going to be a good fit for my company based on how they interacted with me, how they dressed, how they presented themselves, how they spoke, all that kind of stuff. It matters. And so when we created Pitch 59, we're like, we need to allow everybody to deliver their elevator pitch in a very quick, easy fashion on a digital business card that makes sense for everybody, that they can network, refer, and become a search engine as well. So that when you're searching for a carpet cleaner, a plumber, or a doctor, or whatever, you're not just seeing all these listings with star ratings. Yeah. Which the star ratings,
you're not even seeing like companies. You're not even just seeing like the companies. You're seeing people. You're seeing the individuals that are like representing those companies.
Yeah. On Pitch 59, it's all human. Like you get to know the doctor, you get to know the plumber, the carpet cleaner, whatever it is, rather than just see their name and listing. And a lot of these services are intimate services. Like if you're hiring a doctor, like you want to know who they are. They're going to be looking you up and down. They're going to be checking you out. You need to know that you're going to be comfortable with that person. Right. If you're hiring a carpet cleaner, which I was in for a long time, a lot of people invite carpet cleaners and plumbers and those types of people into places in their homes that they don't even invite their best friends into. Master bedrooms, closets, their kids' bedrooms, bathrooms, like that kind of stuff. And so it's an intimate service. Like you've got to know and trust these people that are going to come to your place or that are going to be providing these services. And so
absolutely,
that was one of the big things with Pitch 59 is I'm like, if I could just have a voice, if I could stand out, if I could be human, that would allow me to do what I do best, which is that human interaction. You can call it sales, but to me, it's not sales. It's human interaction and seeing if my services fit your needs.
Well, and I think that's where like the focus kind of changes from the company, where like a lot of people might think when they hear the pitch, they might think of it like a sales pitch, but it's really meant to be that elevator pitch.
It's an elevator pitch, not a sales. Yeah. Some people kind of use it as a sales pitch, but I don't prefer to be sales pitched. I love to hear people's elevator pitches though.
Yeah.
Because I want to know a little bit about you, what you do, why you do it, what's unique and different about you, and why I might want to consider using your services.
There's a huge difference. When you meet somebody in sales, you know that they're sales. But if you see that elevator pitch of getting to know the person and you get to know who they are, why they're doing what they're doing, and really get to see the reasons of what they're capable of and what they're wanting to do for you.
Yep.
That gives it so much more of a purpose behind, working with them, instead of just hearing what they do.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so much more of their character you get to see. It's so much more of who they are and as a human.
And you can gauge what your interaction is going to be with that person.
Oh yeah.
Based on that
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we do. I think that's something that's natural for us as we think about what it would be like to keep this person as a friend or somebody as a contact.
Yeah.
We think about the future and what it might look like. We think and compare it sometimes to a lot of other people that are in our network, but we tend to see, who they might be, days, weeks, months down the road, even years down the road. And if we can actually keep that relationship, I feel like we're way more likely to work with them if we see it being something long-term.
Yeah.
Or that we see them being more personal with us.
The other thing about it is everybody has a preference with the type of person that they work with. So there's no perfect sales rep or perfect business person that's going to satisfy everybody's demands because we're all different.
Right.
So the type of person that I love to work with is somebody that's low key, down to earth, that's not going to overhype things. On the other hand, I have friends and family that prefer the high energy, really excited type of personality and stuff. And that's not me. And so there's no perfect business solution or business person for every need.
Right.
You just got to find the people that are going to resonate with you, that are going to understand you and say,
right. And that's the thing is like, how do you know who you can be compatible with just from reviews online or just from seeing a name or a picture?
Well, and you know that I don't know what the percentage is, but a large percentage of those reviews and ratings are either purchased or they're fake.
Right.
Those ratings and reviews when they first came out were pretty legit.
Sure. Yeah.
But then all these, there are a lot of reputation management companies. There's a lot of ways that you can work the system so that everybody, if you go to Google or Yelp right now, what percentage of companies have a 5-star rating now compared to what they did 5, 6, 7 years ago?
It's ridiculous. It's like, at least
most
90,
of them have a
95%.
5-star, 4.5-star rating.
So. Yeah.
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 Which that's not real. Like a lot of people don't have great experiences with those companies, but because of all these services that are out there now, they can get the bad reviews off, or they can manipulate and encourage those people to change those reviews to.
I hate the reviews that are just stars or that are just like, they're like, great job, or like good things here, or they're just so simple, and you're like tell me something, like give me a little bit more of like, who did you work with? I would much rather like go to a company or a restaurant or like something where I can actually I can see a review previously of like, I worked with so and so and they helped me in such and such way, and I get to see it's just a little bit, but it's a little bit more of being able to actually see somebody there that I might be able to connect with and be like, oh, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to work with that person.
Sure.
But you don't usually get that. That's like not normal right now.
Right.
So
let's talk about elevator pitches for a second, because there's a difference between a sales pitch when you're in person, or even an elevator pitch in person, and an elevator pitch when you're a digital business card.
Right. Oh, so I should probably introduce myself. I didn't even think about that. No. But yeah, really quick. So my name is Nick Hollingshead. I'm transitioning into a role as an affiliate manager, essentially going to be helping all the affiliates that are with our company to be able to help them be the most successful that they can be with their pitch cards, and helping them bring on more people from their networks onto Pitch 59, and really just expand those possibilities of what they want to do with what we're doing with their pitch cards. But I started with the company. It's been a little over a year. It was last April. So it's been 12, probably like 14, 15 months or something. And loving it. I love being able to work with people. I think that's one of my passions, is being able to actually, experience these relationships that can be both professional and personal, and be able to see that aspect of people that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to in a lot of other industries that are out there. So it's really cool to be able to be a part of something that's like that. But
it's a great company for people.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But it comes from going back to like the pitches. I get to see people's elevator pitches delivered every single day. Like I see so many on the platform, and people are constantly asking me, hey, can you look at my pitch really quick and just give me some feedback? Or like, can you tell me what you think? But yeah, let's dive deeper into that.
Our newest intern is Hayden.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hayden. Great guy.
So 2 or 3 months ago, I was doing a demo for a company, showing him Pitch 59. I showed him some business pitch cards, and then I showed him the resume pitch cards as well. And resume pitch cards are for those that are looking for a job or an internship.
Yep.
They get to deliver their 59-second elevator pitch with their resume and all their stuff on their card. And then it makes it so that everybody can introduce them and refer them to other people in just a few seconds. And while I was doing this demo, I watched a couple of elevator pitches on the resume pitch card.
Right. Yeah. You're just showing them to the person
with the company that I was doing the demo for. And I watched Hayden's elevator pitch. I only saw probably the first 30, 40 seconds of it, but I'm like, I swiped down on it and put it in one of my pockets. On the app, you have these pockets and you can put pitch cards in pockets.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I put them in one of my pockets. And then after the demo was over, I called up this Hayden kid. I hadn't even seen his resume. And I called him up and left a voicemail and said, hey, Hayden, this is Jeff with Pitch 59. I'd be happy to chat with you for a minute. We're interested in having you come and work with us and do your internship with us.
Yeah.
He called me back a few minutes later, or maybe an hour later. And he's like, I would love to work for Pitch 59. And I said, can you kind of give me a little bit of your experience, like what it's been trying to find an internship and how it's been with your resume?
You didn't look at his resume. So I
hadn't even seen his resume.
You just want to hear it firsthand.
I saw his pitch and was so impressed by his pitch that I'm like, I don't need to know all the other stuff. A lot of the stuff that he talked about in his pitch, some of it was on the resume.
Sure.
But most of it was like what he wants and what he's trying to achieve.
Yeah, some of his goals and aspirations that he's got. Yeah.
Anyway, but he was so eloquent. He did such a good job with his pitch. And I said, let's set up an interview time. And I set him up with my brother, Aaron, who's over our HR. Mm-hmm. And Hayden is our newest intern and has worked with us for the last month and a half or so. But what's awesome about that is when I called him up and I was talking to him, he said, Jeff, I have sent over 70 applications for internships to companies throughout the country over the last several weeks, and I haven't heard back from one of them. The fact that you just were randomly scrolling through the Pitch 59 carousel and you watched part of my elevator pitch and you called me off of that, one, it means the world to me, but two, it just goes to speak how effective your platform is at helping people really get to know who the person is.
Right.
Resumes are not a great way to figure out who somebody is, especially with all the professional resume writers out there now.
Yeah.
You don't even know if the person wrote their own resume.
And that's the thing too, is like recruiters and companies aren't even looking at the resumes most of the time.
No,
they scroll through them and they get, some of these large companies get hundreds, if not thousands of resumes. And they're just, they try and see like the first little bit and then they just pass them along. But if they had something that really caught their attention, I
had resumes come to me all the time as a small business owner. I don't know how many people I hired, but it was probably 50 to 70, somewhere in that ballpark. And every time we got resumes in, I'm like, okay, they may be good. Just because they worked at some other place doesn't mean that they're going to be a good fit for my company.
Sure.
We can train somebody on how to clean
Absolutely.
carpet or how to do the job. Their personality is more important, and you don't get to know somebody's personality on their resume. I don't care how hard you try. You don't see that.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of building on that a little bit, like, I would say experience isn't necessarily everything too, because when somebody sees a resume and they might see 5, 10, 20 years of experience, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're fully qualified to be able to help you in the best way that they can.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you hear about companies now that are hiring people that are just good people, right? You talked about like this company is good for just people.
Yeah.
And it really makes a difference to be able to have, cause like that was my background. I didn't have a business background. I knocked doors a little bit, but I was a pre-med student before this. And I felt like I was able to, maybe grow into that space a little bit.
Yeah.
But resumes don't give you that chance to be able to show that possibility, that potential that somebody has.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you met us at one of the UVU.
Correct. Yeah. I found you guys at a career fair.
The fact that you came up and started talking, you talked with Jared first?
I saw that. Right? I think I saw the TV screen and I was like, oh, what's that? Like a video. Sure. I'll watch a video for a quick second. And then it was your brother, Jared. Yeah. And he was talking to me. He was like, have you seen this yet? And I was like, no, I haven't seen this yet. And he showed me through and I was like, man, this is cool. This is really neat. Like there's some real potential with this. And I was thinking about like the possibilities of it. And I'm like, man, I'm probably like very underqualified for this position. Like very underqualified. I don't have any background in software.
Lucky for you, we're all super underqualified, so that doesn't really matter.
Well,
We care more about
we're
your
growing together. We're learning together.
History.
Yeah. So anyways, but
going back to that elevator pitch though.
Right. Exactly.
So the key thing about an elevator pitch is that you got to become knowable, likable, and trustworthy.
Yeah.
And you got to do that really quickly.
Yeah.
And
right.
So,
you only got 59 seconds.
So many sales reps, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, don't know how to deliver an effective elevator pitch. They think that, they may be able to sell everything, but they have to do it in person or they have to be there in front of the person. Delivering an effective elevator pitch is different. So whenever you're doing it in person, you're going to ask questions. You're going to be getting to know the person and then trying to help them with whatever they need, letting them know who you are so that there's a human connection there.
Right.
With an elevator pitch on a pitch card, you don't get that option to ask questions because you're not going to hear their answers. So when you deliver your elevator pitch, it's really crucial that you identify a few things that can help the person come to know and understand you better. And then once you set up the appointment or whatever, that's when you can start doing the actual sales process of asking questions and getting to know that potential customer. Yeah. But with the elevator pitch itself, we tend to break it down into 4 sections. So you've got your introduction where you've got to humanize and be able to relate with people. The second point is shark bites. Yeah. Talk about like what is really significant, what the majority of customers are going through in that space and how you resolve those. And then the third point is resolving those concerns. But let's talk about shark bites for just a second. Yeah. So I heard this from a guy at Rev Road not too long ago, but there's a difference between shark bites and mosquito bites and just luxuries. So, for example, if I go to the beach and I get a shark bite and I'm like half my leg is bleeding or missing and I go to the hospital.
Just missing.
Just missing.
I mean, if it is possible, but yeah.
Anyways. And I go to the hospital and the doctor comes in and says, hey, thanks for coming to visit our hospital today. While you're here, I have some lotions that I'd like you to try and see if it'll help your skin become smooth and soft and everything.
Well, and trying to avoid mosquitoes, right? Just something completely off topic.
Yeah. And if I'm the person with a shark bite, I couldn't care less about lotion right now. Yeah. I might in the future, but not right now. Right now, what I need is for you to focus and be persistent on what my biggest
leg's
pain point
missing.
is.
I gotta do something about it. Or I've got this massive hole and I need something else besides lotion. I need stitches.
So think about it. If you have a doctor come in that offers the lotion first, or you have another doctor that comes in and says, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Just to let you know, I've dealt with a lot of shark bites. This is how I'm going to take care of it. Yeah. I see shark bites all the time, and I know it's an incredibly painful process. I know that you're probably wondering if you're ever going to be able to walk again and how that's going to affect your life or your family or your kids. Yeah. Like, are you going to be able to play soccer? Are you going to be able to go do these things with your family? I'm going to help you through this process. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give you morphine. I'm going to take that pain away, and then we're going to go in and clean it out and sew it up and everything. Think about what your relationship is going to be with that doctor that comes in and relates with you, first of all, let you know that they've seen it. They know what they're doing. They're the professional in this space. They understand your pain points, your concerns, all of that stuff. And then he talks about his resolution, what he's going to do to solve that. And then he finishes off with a quick call to action saying, hey, if you are dealing with these issues, if you've had a shark bite, or if you're dealing with anything that's related to this, give me a call. Let's chat. Let's figure out how to help you.
Yeah. You need to have something out there that says, like, you
got to humanize yourself, relate with them, let them know how you're going to help them with their need. If you're there in person and you're delivering your elevator pitch, that's when you're going to be able to relate as a human being and ask more questions. So it's not like it's so structured.
Right. It's much more interactive.
With an elevator pitch, you've got to be able to do that one-sided.
Right.
And so, anyway, so when anybody is creating their elevator pitch, I'll tell this to the audience here. Focus on your introduction. You got to humanize and relate with people. Share things that are a little bit quirky or different or unique about you.
Sure.
That helps people understand that you're like
something
them.
That like allows people to say, like, oh yeah, I do that. Or like, I go rock climbing every weekend, or I like to go surfing, or I like to spend time with my family. I've got 3 kids and, 3 boys that are super rowdy, or whatever it may be. Like, just find something that people can feel like they're like, oh yeah, I know what that's like.
With my first pitch with my carpet cleaning company in Houston, when I did my pitch, one of the first things that I did was I was saying, I know what it's like to have a dirty, messy home where kids and animals and everything make a lot of messes and everything. And then I opened my front door and all 6 of my kids came running out, screaming and yelling and everything. And then I shut the door and I'm like, I get it. Anyway, immediately you think about that's not going to resonate with everybody.
Sure.
I mean, college kids are going to be like, okay, that guy's whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about it, my potential or my ideal client.
Right. Yeah. Who are you looking for?
People that have families and pets that live in residential homes. That have kids, sometimes a lot of kids. The more the kids, oftentimes the messier the carpet or the more they needed it.
Sure.
And so letting them know that I was like them, that I understand their needs and everything, right? And that only took the first 10 seconds of my pitch.
Yeah.
Was huge. And then the next step I went into say, let me show you how we do carpet cleaning and how we can help you with these issues.
Right. Well, and I think that comes from being able to understand who is your target audience.
You got to know your target audience.
You need to know who are you looking to go after and who needs your services that come from you, right? Like, so you're saying like, I mean, you can relate easily with kids. There might be other carpet cleaners that can relate easily with like pets and being able to say like, I've got 3 dogs at home and they can be wild. Like it's insane. And they like a bunch of people with kids, they may be able to relate with that. But like you said, a college student or somebody that's, a young couple or something that it's just them at home. They may not be able to say like, oh, okay, yeah, like, sure, that makes sense, but maybe not for like, it doesn't sound like it's super relatable to us.
Well, and just to prove how effective that was, when we first started Pitch 59, we started in January of 2019. And then this was probably late 2019 after we had the initial website created. We were still a long ways away from launching, but we had created pitch cards and we had a handful of pitch cards that we could show as demos and stuff.
Okay.
And I was invited to go down and present Pitch 59 to 30 different business owners in downtown Houston. And I went there and I showed Pitch 59. It was a 30-minute presentation on Pitch 59. And so I showed them the platform and what we were doing with the pitch cards and how they were being used or how they were going to be used for networking and referrals and introductions and being able to share your message and who you are with everybody. Okay. And then also one day we'll be able to compete with other search platforms because we're a human platform.
Yeah.
And halfway through the presentation, I showed my carpet cleaning pitch card that I just created just a few weeks before that, just my video and stuff. And I just played my pitch there that I'd done for my carpet cleaning company where I had my kids running out and then I showed the carpet cleaning and I talked about my employees and how I like to hire people that I know, like, and trust myself so that you can know, like, and trust them when they come to your home. And anyway, and then I went on and finished talking about Pitch 59. Well, after that presentation was over, all of these business owners came up to me and they were like, I love what you're doing. When you guys launch, I would love to get a pitch card myself and be able to use it for the XYZ.
Oh, neat.
5 of those 30 business owners came up to me and asked if they could schedule a carpet cleaning with me.
Oh.
And I hadn't tried to solicit carpet cleaning or anything. All I'd done is just show them my pitch.
Yeah.
And anyway, that immediately hit me. I'm like, okay, that pitch resonated with those people. They didn't need to know all the other details. They just asked to schedule.
Yeah.
That was amazing. These pitch cards work. We just need to make sure that we're using them effectively.
Yeah.
So that was, it's crucial that you have a good elevator pitch.
Absolutely.
It can make or break you. An elevator pitch or a pitch card can actually do you more damage than good if you don't care if you do a haphazard pitch. Mm-hmm. You need to pay attention and do a good pitch.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different ways that you can do that. We're going to start offering just audio pitches on pitch cards so that you don't have to have a video. You can just do an audio pitch if you'd prefer. It's a lot faster and a lot easier to get your pitch card up and going with that. So it's kind of like a preliminary step to getting your video pitch.
Sure. That's
but
cool.
then you can do your own pitch on the Pitch 59 platform where it's got a built-in teleprompter. It's got pitch tips, pitch topics, all that kind of stuff. We help you do your pitch. You can schedule a consultation with one of our team members so that we can help you create your pitch.
Yeah, which we're happy to do for sure.
Yeah. And then you can schedule a videographer. And if you want a really good pitch, if you really want an amazing video that represents you and your company in the way that you, like in a professional way, hire one of the videographers. There's a bunch of videographers on Pitch 59 that would be more than happy to help you. And they have like pitch days that they do discounted rates for recording your pitch. But also at the end of the day, just start. It's important that you take that first step and just try it. Most people haven't created an elevator pitch video. They don't know how to do it, or they haven't done it before. A lot of people will say like, I don't know how I feel about a video. Like, I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't like how I look on my camera. I don't think I like represent myself well. And yes, it's true. Like disclaimer out there is that you need to feel confident about your pitch. Like you need to feel confident about your video. You'd be way more likely to share it if you feel comfortable with what you gotta love your pitch. Absolutely. If you don't love your pitch, just keep redoing it until you love it.
But that's the thing, is that they need to realize that you can redo it. Like at any time, because it's a live link and a QR code, like anytime somebody scans it, they click on the link, it's always going to be the most up-to-date information, including the pitch. Like they will see the most up-to-date video. And it's even a great selling point is saying, hey, I just updated my video. Would you mind checking it out and like, let me know, like sending it out to their clients and customers and saying, would you just let me know, like give me any feedback that you have, or
if you like it, share it with a next door neighbor,
absolutely,
share a friend or family member. And it takes them 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to do it.
Yeah. And so it just makes it so much more of an easier route to get into just creating the video, getting something on there. If you don't feel comfortable with it, like 100%, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can redo it, and you can do it as many times as you want. Or if you're focusing on something different, you can change it and update it.
Yeah.
And you're starting to shift into a different direction. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think that people kind of get stuck on I need to make this like the best it can possibly be. This is gonna be my pitch for years and years and years. It's like that's just not the case.
Some of the best pitches on Pitch 59 are not professionally done.
Right.
They're the selfie videos.
Yeah.
Where they're just down to earth, human. They relate well with people.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel like you can create one of those, then have a videographer help you get a pitch that you really like.
Sure.
You got to love your pitch,
yeah.
like I said. But there's no perfect pitch out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you do a selfie or if you do just a quick one on your laptop or something like that, or if you hire a professional videographer or do an audio pitch,
Mm-hmm.
there's no perfect pitch.
Right.
And you'll probably change your pitch several times over the course of your pitch card life.
That is pretty much granted.
But the most important thing is just start.
Yeah.
Get familiar with it, get comfortable, like create a pitch and keep redoing it. This is going to benefit you in so many different ways outside of Pitch 59, where now when people ask you, what do you do or who you are, you'll really understand what you need to deliver. So many times people say like, okay, what's your name and what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, really, if I were you, I wouldn't just share what I do. I would share why I do what I do.
Right.
Like what the pain points are that
absolutely.
I help with, and or the purpose, the drive that I have behind what
That's
I do.
what people connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I ask a realtor what they do and they say, oh, I'm a real estate agent and I help people buy and sell their house. I'm like, I'm not going to hire you. You need to tell me why I should hire you, because there's 30,000 other realtors in the state that I could hire.
Yeah.
What is the main reason that I need to hire you over 100%. Anybody else?
Yeah, I actually was watching one this morning that he just finished his pitch video and he was so excited he sent it over to me. But Mike helped.
Cool.
Sent me his, and he it was a lot of like business, which is totally fine. Like I recommend putting personal and business in there, which is great. But what he started out with, which was really cool, is he's like I started this company, I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I started this company and our service vehicle was my Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And it was just a small little company. It was just me. And it was really, it just makes it that
and now
quick connection. And people are like, man, I started my company in my car.
Trucks, ton of employees.
Right. And and they've got, nearly 100 employees and they're flourishing and they're doing so well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the guy drives a Bronco now. And so it's just like, these upgraded quite a bit, but it makes it so much more of that personal side of like people seeing that and they're like, man, yeah, he used to be in my shoes, or like he knows what it's like to just start from the beginning and just run with it. It's so much more relatable.
I was talking to a guy just yesterday, and we'll wrap this up here, but
yeah,
I was talking to a guy just yesterday and he had just created this pitch card. He hadn't done his video yet, but he said, one thing that I want to say in my pitch is he offers a service where they do at home a car repairs and auto repairs. So they'll come to your place, a business, your home or whatever, and do your auto repair for you instead of you having to come to their shop.
Oh yeah. Was it Fleet Pros?
Yeah. Fleet Pros.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And as I was talking to him, he goes, you know what? This surprised a lot of people, but I'm not a mechanic myself. He's like, I'm an accountant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he said, but the reason I started this is because I was doing so many different companies' taxes and managing their books and their accounts. And I was seeing that so many of them were spending so much money on mechanical services or repairs and that kind of stuff because they had to send their technicians to auto shops and they had to pay for the technician's time. They got to pay for the gas. They got to pay for the time that it's going to sit and not be used to generate business.
They're just losing money.
And I mean, it's not like the technicians typically jump right on it right there. Whereas if you schedule an appointment and have them come out to your place, it's just, anyway, he was just talking about all these savings that these companies could have if they had an at home or at business repair shop. And he only understood that because he was an accountant, not because he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that kind of thing that resonates with people, that makes sense. And so those are the types of pitches that I love to listen to. Looking for those pain points.
I think that's like, just to kind of finish off here, but like that's what you should be looking for when you're creating an elevator pitch. Again, not a sales pitch, not an ad or a commercial or anything like that, but really looking for what is it that your ideal customer is facing right now? Like what kind of issues are they running into? What kind of problems are they running into? Not even just like, how can you resolve them, but what are they facing? Cause you may completely shift your focus and it's completely unexpected and that's totally fine. But you want to be able to figure out how you can help those people. And I seeing how many of those people, like you can tell which people just want to help people and help them resolve those issues. Those people are going to be way more successful than just some, like a sales guy knocking on your door and saying, hey, have you guys thought about pest control or solar recently? And it's just super random out of the blue. Whereas somebody that can say, hey, I've dealt with this situation, right? I've dealt with these shark bites. I've seen these issues before. I know what the problems is that you're facing. Let me kind of guide you through this process of how I've done it with other people and show you what it's like. And let me show you how it can work and how you can be successful on your own. Yeah. And really, it makes that much of a difference when you can show that to people. Even in just 59 seconds, people worry about like, am I going to have enough content to put into 59 seconds? Some people say, will I be able to shorten it into 59 seconds? But really making sure that message, that's all you really need. Yeah. It's just the 59 seconds. Yep. That's all you need to be able to be relatable, to catch the attention of the people that are watching your pitch, to be able to, and a lot of times they'll see it. And like you said, they'll see it like the carpet cleaner, when you were sharing it down in Houston, they'll see it. They didn't even realize that they needed it. And the best ones are the ones that they don't realize that they need it, but after watching yours, they want to work with you. They want to get to know you.
I've seen pitches where I wasn't interested in their service until I watched their pitch. And then I'm like, actually,
I could use that.
That might be kind of nice.
Yeah.
I would be interested in that.
All right, okay. I could do that. But yeah, it really makes that much of a difference when you go into those details. When you have that introduction, you are relatable. Yeah. You want to make sure that you know who you're talking to. You find those shark bites, those issues that they're facing, and then you have a real clear solve for it. You need to have a solution. And then you always, and I can't stress this enough, you always need to have a call to action. You need to have something that they can do as a result of watching your video. They need to have something that they can do, that whether it's schedule an appointment or go to your website or check out your social medias, whatever it may be. Give them something that they can act on. Yeah. And so, but just to wrap up here, thanks for joining on and being able to talk about this. Cause I think it goes into, really showing like what we're all about and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think just to kind of, branch off of what you were saying earlier, we are fully open to be able to help other people, create their elevator pitch. We want to help you script it out. We want to help you get those words and figure out what your message is.
Honestly, we're happy to just meet with people and help them create their elevator pitch, whether or not they ever get a pitch card or pitch cards for their team.
Yeah, no.
We'll help you create your elevator pitch.
You need to have the message, and you need to have that script down, or you need to be able to know what you're trying to say. Yeah. And how to get it out, regardless of using our product. Yeah. You need to be able to have that messaging down. And so, feel free to reach out to us and we're happy to help you there. But, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for joining us today. And, we'll see you next time.
Cool. Thanks.